Welcome in to the Hump Day Wednesday Fun Astrology podcast for August 3rd, the early kickoff of our weekend, and we're going to set up the month of August because, yesterday I was trying to definitely paint a positive picture with that aspect, that sextile aspect between Venus and the nodes, North Node, and then Uranus, and then Mars. Well, we've got a few other things that we need to consider. We're not out of the woods yet in the month of August by any means. So let's take today, because there's nothing else going on aspect-wise that we haven't covered in the sky. We still have that Libra moon all day today, and I thought let's just go ahead and cover some of the things coming up. All right, let's take a look at the moon first. So the lunations this month, the full moon will be on August 11th, the new moon on the 27th. This might be one of those episodes you want to get a little pen and paper and jot some of these dates down and circle them on your calendar of things to watch. So the full moon on the 11th, the new moon on the 27th. The retrograde station, the only one we have in August, is Uranus. We talked about it yesterday. It stations retrograde on the 24th. The chart continues to thin itself out. If you've been looking at a chart of late, you'll notice that it's not all grouped up like it used to be, and that's nice to see. That energy is dispersed and thinned out around the chart. Tomorrow, Mercury moves into Virgo. On the 11th, the same day as the new moon, Venus enters Leo. On August 20th, Mars leaves Taurus. And the only thing I can say to that is this. I think the whole world will be glad to see Mars get out of there. It moves into Gemini. And then on the 22nd, we begin Virgo season as the sun enters Virgo. And then on the 25th, Mercury moves into Libra. That's a double ingress for Mercury. It screams through Virgo this month, entering on the 4th and exiting on the 25th. Now, let's just go through a couple of these aspects. So on the 7th, Venus trines Neptune. That's going to be interesting. So we're building up toward, in fact, I like that because that's Sunday when we begin our second year of healing convergence. And it will be when we do this live together that I hope you'll join us Sunday night at 8 Eastern. We mentioned the times and places yesterday, but that will be under that aspect right there, Venus trining Neptune. So some nice spiritual punch right there. But also on that day, Mars squares Saturn. Be kind of an interesting tug of war to see which one is the greater of those two aspects. And then one we've been talking about quite a bit on the 10th is the peak of that moon wobble when the sun squares the nodes of the moon. Then on the 11th, we have the sun squaring Uranus. So see, Uranus is not out of the picture by any means here at all. Sun squares it on the 11th, and then Venus squares it on the 27th. Backing up, on the 14th, the sun will be opposite Saturn. Ooh, that'll be interesting. The sun in Leo and Saturn in Aquarius, that aspect or that axis, you always can count on people will be involved in some way or another. I mean, groups of people, the masses, reaching out. You'll hear about it. And then at the end of the month, after the sun has moved into Virgo on the 22nd, it squares Mars on the 27th. So then if you heard Ray Merriman's take saying that this August, September, October, November time period is definitely a challenging stretch. And if you jump back to Old Soul, New Soul with Robert Glasscock and you listen to the episode that we released about the eclipses in the fall, there was one episode that we released there in a series of 3, but it's the one that talks specifically about the aspects themselves. I mean, Robert, I had to do, I'll tell you guys a little secret. We had to do a take 2 on that because take 1, I just kind of rolled him in with not a lot of setup. And it was, let's say we re-recorded it. I mean, so take it as serious what he's saying. And a lot of these aspects that we're talking about here, the sun squaring the nodes, for example, Venus squaring Saturn, the sun opposing Saturn, the sun squaring Mars. See, all of these are imprinting the sky ahead of the eclipses. So I would really encourage you again, if you haven't listened to Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast number 303, that to me sums all of this up. So as we look ahead and we see whatever we see going forward, what I think is happening is a split of consciousness. And there is going to be a high road and a low road. And it's going to be up to us to decide which one we will choose. And that affects so many things around us. It might mean that there are certain things that you do that you take a look at not doing anymore. There might be certain places you go that you choose not to go anymore because they're low energy, they're low timeline places. Friends, activities, even relationships, everything is coming under this umbrella of choosing which timeline you are going to pursue. And I think there will continue to be a separation of them. So we're going to see positive aspects in the chart. We're going to see challenging aspects in the chart. We're going to see positive news stories going forward, and we're going to see challenging news stories. The cycles of life will not change. What will change is your perspective on it, because if you keep listening to this stuff that I'm putting out, we are going to choose the higher timeline, and that's what we are going to focus on. And we have to take as many people with us. So come join us for Healing Convergence. Keep saying that. Sunday night at 8 p.m. All right, stay on the high timeline, guys. Stay on the high timeline, and that will carry you through all of this. All we're doing here is just reporting possibilities. We don't even know what's going to happen. Stay focused on the positive. What if? Up.